Hello, this is your anchor Zorn here in the Prothean Galactic News System, bringing you your live and up-to-date news on the Prothean planet Fel Prime and its people. Now, we have a lot to talk about today. First, I'd like to talk about we launched 3 corvettes into space today and future hopes to explore the galaxy and expand our empire to the stars. They are equipped with 4 giant engines. I don't even know what these engines are made of. I mean, just look at them. They're giant. Now, they have scanners that are far more superior than anything we'll find on Fel Prime, from what I'm told from sources. They house over 150 people, a captain, and a full crew. Upon reaching space, we discovered a giant floating mass in our galaxy that is of unknown source. We have no idea where it came from. We're hoping to find that out. We have ordered our corvettes, or our 3 new spacefaring crews, to go and, I guess, study it. While they were en route to study this giant mass, they discovered 3 subspace signals, all relaying some very terrifying news. I mean, terrifying news. Apparently, there is an unknown non-sentient race that happens to be going across the galaxies and raging war against anything that is advanced technology, I'm assuming, because we don't have much information on these guys. I'm sorry. We don't know what they're called. We have no idea where they're from. We just know that they're going across, and they're just opening up and raging war against everybody. Now, we asked our governmental leaders what they had to say about it. They didn't have anything to say. They commented with no comment, and we have nothing to discuss here. This is classified information. They asked us how we even got a hold of our sources. We had to inform them that we have our own ways of getting what we need to know. Now, what does this entail for the future of the Prothean race? What does this entail for the rest of the galaxy? We don't know. We can only hope that the commanders of the Prothean Empire will be able to stand and defend us in the face of uncertainty now, people. Now, again, this is the Prothean Global News System bringing you the live, up-to-date, cold, hard facts. Stay tuned. We now bring you live to the battlefield where our commanders and all our higher-ups are scrummaging together to try and save Fel Prime. Thank you. Hey y'all, welcome back. It's Zorn HBS. I hope y'all like that little intro that I put together. I've worked really hard on that. It took me about 4 hours to put that together. You're gonna have to put down in the comments if you guys liked it or not. It was my first time actually trying to mess with the editor and you know, actually create some sort of intro. Usually I just say, you know, hello, welcome back, you know, blah 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 blah. But this time I kind of wanted to get a little personal with it and make something. I was inspired by a couple of YouTubers who play this game, Stellaris, out there, and I saw something that I really liked, and I kind of wanted to do my own spin on it. So courtesy to the XP gamers out there for their Stellaris playthrough. They also motivated me a lot in Space Engineers. I just never recorded any of that. Enough about that though. I want to get right into this. Like I said, I hope you liked the intro there. Every episode there's going to be a little something at the beginning of it, some sort of coverage to update you as if you were the viewers looking in on the Prothean era back in Mass Effect, before the humans and all them came around. What I always loved about Mass Effect was that there was some sort of mystery about, before you find out about the Reapers and all that, there was a mystery about where all the technology that you had came from. And there was this ancient civilization that had this huge, expensive, and expansive empire that stretched across the galaxies, and they were all powerful, and all of a sudden they were brought to their knees and utterly obliterated by the Reapers. So it always intrigued me to want to play a Mass Effect game where you actually played as the Protheans back in the time, and you went through the Prothean timeline, and you eventually encountered the Reapers. Of course, you would play like as Javik. All of you who are a Mass Effect fan have played Mass Effect 3 know that Javik is the sole surviving Prothean, and he basically sacrificed the remainder of his race in their cryogenic tubes in order to ensure that he would survive to preserve their history and all of everything that they worked on, and ensure that the plans to defeat the Reapers had gotten into the appropriate hands of the next sentient beings that would take over the galaxy. So I thought it would be pretty cool if I kind of did like a Stellaris game where you could play as the Mass Effect classes, and I chose to play as the Protheans. As you can see back in their timeline, I created a couple other races that I threw in here, out of speculation and my own thoughts of what would have lived back then. I don't know exactly what they had back then, because they don't really mention much other than the Protheans from that time. So, I threw this together, and I'm going to be doing this campaign, playing as the Protheans in their timeline, building my empire up, and hopefully, if the playthrough works right, it'll end in a showdown between the Protheans and the Reapers. However, we all know how the game Stellaris works, so essentially what this is going to be is me playing as the Protheans with the intro that you saw before, changed obviously because it's supposed to be like a newscast for each episode. But essentially what I'm going to be doing is playing as the Protheans up through their time and covering it for you guys, trying to make a story for this game, because I really like this game. It's a very in-depth game where you literally have to get down to the buildings on the planets, the type of government you have, the interaction with the other races and species that are in the universe that you're playing in. You actually got to think diplomatically as well as militaristically, because you don't want to focus all on just one or the other, because then you'll get dominated in the other aspect. So anyways, that's what I decided to do. And before we go any further in depth into the game, and before I hit this beginner button, I kind of want to read this to you, because thank you to whoever created the mod. I'll put the description down and below. I can't think of it off the top of my head right at the moment. But they did a lot of work on this mod, and they included some stuff not just from Mass Effect but from other games too. I'm not going to go into detail on them for copyright reasons, though I could get a copyright for doing this just alone. The only reason why I'm going ahead and doing it is because I'm such a big fan of Mass Effect, and I'm willing to take that hit if they try and hit me with anything like that. So without going on any further, I kind of want to go over how I built the Protheans in my eyes, and what I feel that they would have been like if they were still around. First off, with the ethics, I went Xenophile, which basically is they love all aliens. They want to migrate all aliens into them. They want to interact. They want to expand. They want to get to know everybody. I made them militarist because I remember from the Mass Effect games that Javik spoke how they were very military heavy, and he himself was a commander amongst the military forces, and it was his sole duty to protect the secrets of the Prothean Empire. So I made them militarists, and also I remember he said that they believed. I don't remember exactly how he said it, but pretty much I made them spiritualists because they were deeply connected with their own feelings and the ones around them. They were very just connected in a deeper level than what we are as humans. As far as their traits go, I picked strong because they were strong. They were a very strong empire. They owned majority of the universe. I made them intelligent because, well, I feel that Protheans, in order to be the most dominant race in the galaxy, you would have to have some sort of intelligence. And in order to build the technology that they built from what they deciphered from what the Reapers or whatever race was previous before them, because if everybody knows everything about the Reapers, they came around like every 50,000 years or something like that, and they just wiped out all advanced life, and they let the primitive life be. It was just something that was built into their programming that was a flaw from the Leviathans. That's just how it was. So I made them intelligent. I made them sedentary because, well, I needed to put a negative in there, and all the other negatives that they had didn't really make sense for the Prothean Empire. I mean, they weren't repugnant, they weren't anything like that. They didn't appall those around them. In fact, the Prothean Empire attracted, probably, in my opinion, probably attracted everybody else to them just from their sheer size, military power, and what they could actually do. So, also, I made it so they like the tropical preference. So, I mean, they're going to like continental planets, things like that. Planets that are like Earth. Sorry. They're going to like stuff like that. Alright, so now I'm going to read this little piece here. And just so you know, there's not really much going to go on in this episode. I'm really just explaining everything to you and kind of going over the basics. Feel free, if you want to become part of the cause here and you want to actually take part in this, feel free to add a description down below or a comment, whatever you want, and let me know if you want to be in the video as like one of the commanders, or if you want a ship named after you or something like that. I mean, right now I'm taking everybody. There's going to be a shit ton of spaceships and commanders that come through the game. The game, I played one game for 16 and a half hours straight and still didn't beat the game. So the game is going to go on a while. I don't know how long the campaign's going to actually go. But if you want to be a commander and you want to command a vessel, you can have the vessel named whatever you want, and your commander will have his name taken after you. I can't control the sex of the commander, unfortunately, so you're just going to have to bear with that. If you end up being a girl, well, you're a girl, and if you're a girl and you end up being a dude, well, I'm sorry, I can't customize their gender. So let me go on and continue on. In the eons since the first primitive Prothean communities took shape in the dense jungles of Fel Prime, our civilization has spread and prospered. As we advanced through the ages, many of our earliest nation-states suffered greatly from the constant power struggles between the military and civilian institutions that governed its society. A compromise was reached in a new form of government, where one could not exist without the other. Now, after the discovery of the hyperlane network, the finest minds of the Prothean Republic have finished development of the first hyperdrives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp. So that's pretty much, just a little throw out there that, the person who created the game put in there for all races. Depending on what you pick for your personal race preferences as far as civics, ethics, however they're set up as far as the way they look, whatever, all can play a part into what your species-specific beginning background storyline is about. So, have fun with creating your species if you do decide to pick the game up. If you decide to do something similar, kudos to you. And good luck, because, man, it's a lot of work. Alright, so pretty much now what I got to do is I got to set up some research. I got to tell this guy here, Mr. Science Ship, to go over here and let's survey this system real quick. Whoop, don't want to do that. And don't want to do that. And don't want to do that. Okay. Well, for some reason, my keypad don't want to work, so I'm just gonna have to hit this real quick, and then hit this real quick. All right, now ignore that, guys. Sorry, minor glitch in the game. I don't know why it does that. It does it sometimes though. Like my controls won't respond. I have to minimize and re-maximize the game in order for them to work properly. Alright, so now that I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom out so you can see this. Now, as we all know, the Prothean home planet was Fel Prime. You actually, I think in one, I can't remember, it's been a while since I played 1 or 2, but I do think you go to A Prime, not Fel Prime, but A Prime, where you discover what used to be one of their sleep chambers for all the Protheans. So now this guy he's gonna go about surveying it. Now while he's doing that, we're gonna look in here. Now again, I've played this game a little bit, so I know that when you're doing stuff you really gotta be paying attention. Sometimes it gives you some really tricky stuff, but it's always good in the beginning to unlock, you know, all your resource stuff, because you don't want to see what happens when you get far enough into the game and you don't have your resources high enough. But I chose hyperlane travel because I don't know, one, somebody else I watched chose it, and it seems like a fun way to do it, and two, well, it seems more realistic. You're not just going to be able to warp to whatever star you want. You're going to have to use whatever star charts or star lanes have already been explored before you. I mean, you don't want to just jump between one star to another star. You never know what's in between it. Take the roads that have already been explored and find new ones. That's what I say. So, as you can see now, we got something for our buddies to scan, to construct. So we wanna do this. Build mining stations. Now, as you can see, we are a military commissariat, which means we hold an election every 10 years for a new leader. Excuse me. Each leader has its own agenda, and their goal is to achieve that agenda before they have to resign from office. Now we're gonna go ahead and let this guy scan. Now, if I was smart, I probably should do this. I should probably create a couple more vessels, because it's important.
Construction complete.
It's important to have those extra vessels, because there's things like raiders and stuff that'll pop into your system and start attacking you, destroying everything.
Anomaly found.
Oh, look at that. Anomaly found. Oh, I should have read that. I'm sorry. From now on, I will read things that pop up. I'm not a big reader. Intrude. The signal we intercepted was a distress call from a ship in orbit around Marble. The ship has not given away any heat signatures and seems to be drifting. A special project has been issued to investigate what has happened to the crew.
Situation log updated.
Interesting. We're going to have to come back to that because we don't have a science officer level 2 yet. And I do want to cue this guy to build a mining station. What the hell is that noise? Gotta zoom out. Alright. So now, My science officer is done there. I'm going to send him over here. He's going to survey here, and he's going to survey here. Then he's going to survey up here. So I'm just going to send him around and make him scan a couple of places. Again, there's not too much that's going to get done in this episode. I'm pretty much just getting things started, letting y'all know what's going on, making sure that everything's going great. Again, at the start of every episode, I'll have something awesome waiting for you guys. It's taken me a lot of work, but I think it's really going to be worth it in the end. I think it's going to be great, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it. I know I'm enjoying making it and putting it together for you guys.
System survey complete.
System survey complete. Awesome. Thank you. All right, go ahead and go and scan the next system. Get your butt out of my face. Thank you. So now when that guy's done,
Construction complete.
tell him to do this. All right. Build mining stations. Yeah, you do that. All right, let's pause this up right quick. Go over here. We'll build 1, 2, 3. Well, two more Corvettes, because I want to be prepared in case something decides it wants to throw itself at me. Interesting. We have discovered artifacts from an ancient alien civilization on Yump 1. They must have been active in this region of space approximately 12 million years ago, judging by the age of the artifacts. From what they have been able to piece together, our scientists theorize that these aliens, who call themselves the Voltum Star Assembly, were worm-like annelids, roughly 3 to 4 meters in length, that communicated with each other primarily through vibrations carried along their segmented bodies.
Situation log updated.
That's interesting. That is kind of disgusting. But okay, if that's what you insist. We'll go with that.
Construction complete.
Alright. Now, we have... Look at this. Oh, this is so...
Construction complete.
This is awesome. Got so much power. So much power. But come on, stop being like
System
that.
survey complete.
Awesome, you got about 17 more to go. Get going, get out of my sight. Thank you. I love how they listen. They listen so well. Keep going. Just want to make sure you do everything you're supposed to be doing there, sonny boy. Got a lot of work ahead of us. We got to prepare for that weird non-sentient race that keeps coming around and waging war on people. I don't even know where the fuck we got the signals from, first of all. We'll find out. We're going to find out.
System survey complete.
Because it's important to know where we're receiving strange subspace signals from and what these creatures are that are attacking us. I'm hoping that we're going to be strong enough by the time it comes to fend it off. Ooh, awesome. We got traditions available. Now, I usually go prosperity, and for this episode I'm going to go prosperity because I just want to get the colony. But if you guys have anything particular that you think I should go, or anybody who watches this video has a comment on something as far as these go, I've played the game a couple of times, and I haven't come across any specific way that's more beneficial than any other way. I've tried a couple of different ways. Like once I went expansion, I mean, I grew pretty fast, but I wasn't very stable. I've gone, diplomacy first. I was able to create a federation faster, but the federation wasn't very strong because my federation partners didn't back me up. Now, that was the other problem. The mechanics, I'm not sure if they entirely work right because, well, I got screwed by diplomacy. So I'm going to try prosperity this time through first to get the private colony ship up here, which comes with this, which allows me to populate a little faster and doesn't cost me my minerals. Instead, it'll cost me power, which over the couple of times that I've played, I've managed to be able to balance my minerals and my power out. They've been giving me really good spawns. But I know sometimes you get real crap spawns, so I'm just hoping that this playthrough doesn't go too crazy bad for me that I have to completely restart. I'm going to try and make do with whatever is thrown at me. Now already, right off the bat, I'm noticing that they're giving me quite a bit of power and minerals, and I'm placed way out on the outer edge. I've never been over on this side before. I've been right here, I've been down right here, I've even been right here. But I've never ever been placed on a rim like this. Usually there's raiders and shit that are right out here. So hopefully I won't run into anything too crazy early on, and we'll actually be able to expand our empire to a decent length. Now, right now I don't have anybody named, so if you want to be anything, go ahead. I don't have really any plans on any specific names for him either.
System survey complete.
Ooh, research.
Anomaly
Something
found.
moves with near purpose down on Ambor 3. Let's research that. That seems like something that we might want to know about, especially if we're going to be populating a planet possibly nearby there.
Construction complete.
It's very important.
Research complete.
Whoa, research complete. New research. Alright. I like to get the power plants early, man. Without the power, you don't have ships. Without ships, you ain't got shit. That's just how this game works. Now, I like to get the power out early. Again, I'll say that again. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Let's just hope that I get the power out quick enough. Our species native to Ambor 3 has, according to the ISS Nangesu, orbiting the planet, achieved a tentative mastery of the planet. Science Officer Arweus. Wow, I can't even pronounce that word. I'm sorry, it's a really weird word. I don't even think it's a legit word. So I'm just going to call him Arl for now. I'm going to have to rename him. Sure proposes that we should monitor their development closely and maybe even help them along if possible. So boom, right off the bat. Okay. Excuse me. Habitable World Survey. We now know without a doubt that a thriving biosphere is not something unique to Fel Prime. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life found throughout the galaxy. Efforts to catalog the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary survey efforts on habitable, life-bearing worlds. Commendable
Situation
initiative.
log updated.
So yeah. Excuse me.
Research complete.
I'm eating a Nutty Buddy. Snack. I'm hungry.
System survey
Wow.
complete.
Really busy working on this. Okay. Now this is a tough choice. We have two industrial ones here. Both of them are very beneficial, but only one of them is actually going to make a difference if I pick it. Well, really, I mean, I'll build buildings faster, but if I don't have the population growth to go with it, I'm going to just be erecting buildings like boom, 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 boom with nobody to man them, which is inevitably going to cost more energy than what it's going to cost to not have the buildings. That speaking as far as generators specifically. Like, you can build a building and it just sit there and it's just going to eat an energy credit out, or however much of an energy credit percentage that it uses. That's why, like I said, I like to go all the resources early. That way I'll pump out quicker. So right now it's basically just a focus on trying to expand our borders a little bit, get as many stations out there for research, power, mining that we can get out. Populate if you can populate early on. If you can't,
Construction
you
complete.
can't. Then focus on building stations and troops and power. That's what's important. You gotta make sure that you're strong enough to take whatever the colonies around you are gonna throw at you. Now there's more than just them. There's actual leviathans and giant big creatures that they put into this game that will randomly warp around the map, and if they come across a planet that has any
System
stations
survey
or
complete.
ships in the system, they automatically destroy the ships the ships in the stations to make sure that I guess nobody else can accelerate
Construction
to the point
complete.
that they're at. But you're not really gonna stop people, honestly. We'll just get a little stronger and we'll come back and we'll kick your ass. How do you like that? Because we believe in miracles. So anyways, there's 1,000 stars in this system, in case you haven't noticed. There's 1,000 stars and only 8 species to populate these 1,000 stars. Now I'm anticipating by the time I run into anybody else, I'm gonna have like all this owned. All of that owned. That's what I'm hoping for. Here on Prothean Fel Prime is what it's called. It should be just Fel Prime. We didn't call our home planet human Earth. Really?
System survey complete.
That's kind of silly. There must be another Fel Prime somewhere. Excuse me. Lack of oxygen. Been kind of sick. And sorry again for...
Anomaly found.
There are signs of activity by an ancient precursor civilization on the hospital. Man, research that shit. I shouldn't have to tell you. You know your job. You know your job. Don't play with me. I'll have to demote your ass. Throw your ass to the fucking beavers. Ooh. Voltum mining base. Remnants of a small Voltum helium-3 mining base have been found at the bottom of a large crater on Orcam Fung 3. The blast that created the crater seems to have originated from inside the facility itself. Unless Voltum mining techniques were radically different from our own, an equipment failure or accident cannot account for such a massive explosion. Interesting. Something tells me somebody sabotaged your mining base there, buddy. And they wanted to make sure that whoever was in there was taken with it.
Situation log updated. Construction complete.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want that all in my ear continuously. That's no good. Okay. So now I see that we have 2 habitable planets around our Prothean Republic. So hopefully we don't have to worry about too much more. It really does stink how hard it is to do some things. Oh, look at that! We already got another prospect. Alright, colony ships. Yes, these are a lot better, in my opinion, than the actual regular colony ships. Because, like I said, let me pull this up for you. Like I said, the private colony ship costs power instead of minerals. And not only does it cost power, but it costs almost half, if not exactly half of what it costs minerals for the normal colony ship in power. So instead of paying 350 minerals, instead I'm paying 175 power, which is a lot cheaper in my opinion. and a lot easier to handle. So the next step for us to do is to build, I want to build a frontier post, and I want to build it like right here, so that way I can cover right here, and
System survey complete.
this next potential planet that's over here. And I want to make sure that I'm growing in a decent rate, because the others,
Research complete.
they're not going to have anybody really around them, so they're going to be having complete free roam. Now the energy, this is kind of where it gets kind of tricky, you know. It's always good to have the fusion reactors because they power your ship up, make them go, will make them have more energy, and make it so you can use more powerful weapons. It's also good to have the deflectors for your planet fortification, although you're not going to get invaded right away, so it's not really important to have those right off the bat. Now the energy, the global energy management, I don't know, I get it a lot, but I never really see what it does. But I always notice by the mid-game, I've got quite a bit of energy. I got about 45, 46 energy inflow. So, I mean, I guess it's always good to have that early on. But you always want to make sure that you stay up to date on all that stuff. So, I mean, I think I'm going to get this colony started.
Anomaly found.
Ooh, anomaly found. Sensors echo have indicated the presence of some kind of unidentified object deep within the atmosphere of this gas giant. Research it, obviously.
Research complete.
Awesome. Mining network 2. Alright. I always like to have the spaceport 2 unlocked early, because that's important. Without the spaceport 2, then you're not able to get the spaceport 3 one, which is where you get your destroyer level stuff. Destroyers, I don't know. There's one class I never made it to, and it's Galleon. I can never get above, well, sorry, Battleship. I've never even had Battleship. I get as far as Cruiser in all my playthroughs before somebody decides that they want to come over and kick my fucking face in. Excuse my French, but that's literally what happens. They fly up in here, they bombard every single one of my planets one at a time, wipe out my fleets as they flow in, and it's just horrible. Alright, I'm lacking 4. Lacking 4.
Research complete.
Ah, research complete. Ooh, power. Let's see, crushed cruiser. The shattered remnants of a cruiser-sized starship can be detected in a decaying orbit deep inside the atmosphere of Sidenope 5. It appears to have ventured far into the gas giant's atmosphere, perhaps in desperate attempt to escape a pursuer, only to be crushed by the atmospheric pressure. The vessel is too deep to be salvaged, but a structural scan of the wreckage has provided us with some interesting engineering data. Awesome. That's great to know. Orbital hydroponic farms. Now I just want to make sure that I'm doing this already. I'm gonna build the outpost over there. And I'm going to take this guy, and I'm going to colonize. I want to make sure I pick, yeah, that's a good spot. I always random my names.
System
I
survey
don't like
complete.
trying to come up with a Prothean name, because I really don't know the Prothean dialect. That's the hard part. Like, when you guys tell me that you want to take over the ships, I'll be happy as crap, because until you do, I have to deal with naming each ship some Prothean name, and it's really a pain in the ass.
Colonization in progress.
So, oh great, ooh, first Prothean colony. Well, it's technically the second, because our first colony was founded here on Felpron. So, don't worry about what that says up in the top. But I'm going to read this to you. Our colony ship has found a rare patch of open ground in the jungles of Ninsab and made planetfall. The landing site is surrounded on all sides by lush vegetation, and sentry drones have been deployed to guard against predators. The ship has been permanently converted into the administrative headquarters of the new settlement, and its reactor core is in the process of being removed so that it may serve as the colony's temporary power source. Hundreds of small tents and prefab shelters have sprung up around the former starship's massive hull as colonists begin to disembark in large numbers, the first Prothean city on an alien world. A great day for the Prothean Republic. Alright guys, I'm going to call it that for this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate the support. Hope you guys continue to watch. If you liked what you've seen, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Sorry, I got that a little backwards there, guys. And I'll see you all in the next episode, and I hope to see you out on the battlefield, taking command of one of these nice fine vessels, and helping me lead the Prothean Empire to what will hopefully be a victory to the Reaper onslaught. Now, I may or may not have put a surprise in so that later on in the game we might get hit with a double whammy. But that's all for the surprise to see. So again, I'll see you all in the next one. Hope to see you out on the battlefield, and please leave your comments down below. I'm really looking forward to hearing about what you thought about my intro for this video. Again, it's a work in progress. First time ever doing anything like that. Hopefully you liked it. Thank y'all. Peace.